Hi Cancer, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your May 2025 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, the Celtic crossbred as always, and I also pulled the 4 agreements and wisdom of the oracle card for you guys. But we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your folks should be as far as that goes. All right, we have Venus. So Venus is going to be in Aries, your 10th house of career and social status, pretty much all of May. Currently, at the time of recording this, it's still in Pisces, which is your 9th house. But yeah, it'll be in your 10th house of career and social status for all of May. It recently came out of retrograde, of course, as well. We have Virgo. So astrologically speaking, that area of the sky is a little quiet. We do have the South Node there. And that's your 3rd house of communication, short journeys and siblings. And we have 12. So 12th house energy for you guys is Gemini. So of course, when we get toward the end of May, we'll have Gemini season kicking off with the sun moving in there. We'll also have a new moon in Gemini as well. But aside from that, we also have Jupiter in Gemini. Toward the end of May, we're actually going to have Mercury move into Gemini as well. So yeah, quite a bit of energy flowing through your 12th house at one point or another as we move through the month of May. So we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention, but 12th house, it points to spirituality, blind spots, mental health. All right, so in the main situation position, we have the King of Pentacles, Taurus energy, and challenging that, we have the 5 of Cups, Scorpio energy. So this could just be saying that things might go well for you for the most part in the month of May, but maybe around the time of the Scorpio full moon, which would be around May 12th, you might feel a little bit down, right? Maybe feel nostalgic about lost opportunities, maybe lost connections, things along those lines. But if it's not just really a theme pointing to that timeline in particular, this could just be saying that you might have one area of your life going really well. So, for example, maybe your finances might be going well, but your emotional connections might be suffering at the same time, right? Maybe your friendships are going very well, but your romantic life might be suffering, right? So, one of those things where you might feel like in one area of life things are going really well, but you might feel like another area is suffering in the meantime because of that. In foundation position, we have the Queen of Cups. So this is actually the court card for your sign. So for some of you, this could be pointing to potentially why. So for example, maybe some of you have made a deliberate effort to focus more on career, let's say, right? And because of that, maybe you've been a little bit more closed off when it comes to emotional connections, be that friendships, family, romantic connections, you name it, right? And maybe now you're looking back on that with a little bit of regret, right? So maybe you feel like at one time it might have been needed for you to do that because maybe you were healing from a heartbreak, but now you might feel like you've gone too far in the other direction. In the past position, we have the Lovers. So this is the major arcana card for Gemini. So yeah, this could just be saying that maybe in the past you did feel like things were going really well, right? So yeah, like I said, it looks like you did have harmony at one point, and now you just might feel like things are out of balance, and you could just be trying to figure out how to get back to that point of balance. Right. In the present position, we have the Hierophant. So this is actually the major arcana card for Taurus. So we have the court card for Taurus there. Here we see the major arcana. So it could just be saying that ultimately the key might be to look at things through a spiritual lens this month, you know? So even if you did feel like, oh, now I focus too heavily, like I said, just, you know, a generic example, oh, I focus too much on my career, now my friendships, family, or romantic connections are suffering as a result. Like this is saying that ultimately, you know, the best way to view it is you needed to go through that cycle for the time being, and now if you do want to come back to those other things, you know, you just have to trust and have faith that you can navigate through it correctly. In the near future position, we have the 7 of Swords. So this is Aquarius energy here. For the most part, this seems to be a little bit unrelated to this main theme that we've been talking about so far. So what I would say with this really is if you're thinking of investing in some way this month, I would say definitely be careful and just make sure you're looking through all the details to make sure it's not a really one-sided thing, right? Where, yeah, you might invest, but wherever you're putting the investment into is going to get a way better deal out of the dynamic than you would. All right. In the position of your influence in a situation, we have the Seven of Wands. So this is Leo energy here. And this could just be saying you might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed this month. That maybe you feel like too many people want some of your time, right? So again, this could be tying in to use that career example again, right? Like I said, maybe you just had a lot going on in your career, and because of that, you're not able to spend as much time with your friends, your family, your romantic partner, right? So you could just be feeling a little bit overwhelmed by that at this time. But yeah, if that's the case, looks like you will be able to navigate it. Just looks like it would be a bit of a bumpy ride for a bit. All right, in the environment position, we have the King of Wands. So for some of you, this could just be saying that maybe ultimately this is what's been guiding it, right? Maybe this was a goal that you set for yourself to reach a certain status within your lives. For some of you, if this represents someone in your external environment, then it could just be saying that they could be really overworking you. And I feel like if that's the case, they seem to have an awareness of that. But, I feel like until you actually call them out on it, they're just going to let that dynamic continue to play out. Right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Ten of Wands. So Sagittarius energy here. And yeah, for a lot of you, this would probably be more of a fear in this context, right? Where, meaning that you might see no end to this work in sight, right? Where you just might feel like, okay, this is just my reality now, right? I'm constantly going to feel overwhelmed. I'm constantly going to feel like there's always more to get done. So that could be a fear that you guys are holding this month. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Star. So this is the major arcana card for Aquarius. And to me, in this context, I feel like this is saying that ultimately you will get reattached with your emotional side. That could come out in a healthy way, right? Or, it could just come through getting to a point where you might just feel overwhelmed and it's going to come out anyway, right? So if that happens, it might be in a less healthy manner. Overall, looks like it'll be for a net positive, but I will say, given that this is the card that naturally comes after the Tower card in traditional tarot, that's something to keep in mind, So, like I said, let's say that Scorpio full moon, right? Maybe emotions run high during that time, and you just let the emotions get a little bit overwhelming. So it could just be one of those things where, okay, maybe this was a release that was needed anyway, but because you might have held it in for so long, it just might have come out in a more unhealthy way. So something to watch out for there. But overall, like I said, it looks like it will work out for the best in the end anyway. All right, and bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Pentacles, Virgo energy here. So yeah, overall, this looks like a goal that you had in mind that you decided you were going to work toward. And like I said, it just seems like it might have started out well, but it just seemed like you just might have gotten a little bit too far in one direction and then caused an imbalance there. So the good news there, it would be easier to regain that balance than it might seem right now. All right, from the four agreements, we have don't take anything personally, and it says refuse to eat emotional poison. Okay, it says taking things personally makes you prey for predators. They can hook your attention with one little opinion and feed you whatever poison they want. Refuse to eat poison. So, definitely an interesting message there. Doesn't look like there's a lot of conflict energy in the air, but I will say with that Seven of Swords, right? If that's someone that you feel, for example, that comes around and makes those underhanded remarks that you feel like that they're not coming from a good place, feel like this is saying, try to just rise above that and let them go away, basically. Easier said than done in the moment, I'm sure, but that's mainly what I'm getting from that. And then from the Wisdom of the Oracle, we have Happy Happy. There's the artwork, and the number is 26. All right, essential meanings say says joy and contentment, a sense of fulfillment, a feeling that all is well. The Oracle's message: your desires are effortlessly fulfilled now. Find joy in the present moment, whatever is happening, and be satisfied with things as they are. You're free from the shackles of longing and able to experience the liberation that comes from actually being happy moment to moment, for you have chosen happiness over yearning for it. Now is the time for feeling joy for the sake of joy and experiencing contentment. None of this is because of something outside of yourself. Your happiness is a result of your being at one with Spirit's plan for your life. All is well. The tide is in for now. Enjoy playfully splashing in it. So yeah, reading that message there definitely made me think of what we were talking about with the Hierophant energy that we see there. So hopefully that resonated. The relationship message says there are moments in a relationship when you just feel good about whom you're with, and you know that your heart is wide open to befriend, to love, and to care for another without wanting anything in return. This is the kind of happy that you just want to share. The appearance of this card in a reading tells you that joy and contentment are here now, not somewhere else or off in the future. The grass is greenest right where you stand. Be grateful and delight in your relationship, and if you're seeking one, be happy now. Happiness attracts more of itself, like bees to honey. So yeah, again, to me that message calls back to, like I said, if you are feeling overwhelmed in some way, right? And like I said, if you feel like you put too much energy toward one area of life and to the detriment of others. So again, like we said, the example, if you put too much focus on career, now you feel like your romantic life is suffering, then I feel like this is saying, it'd be easier to restore that balance than it might seem right now. The prosperity message says this is the time to take pride in your accomplishments. You're doing good work, providing exceptional service, and are well compensated for it. The world rains gratitude upon you, and you're happy with the results of your efforts and creativity. Isn't it amazing to consider all that you've done? Remember your partnership with Spirit in this moment, too. Your soul has always known you could accomplish anything if it brought you joy. So, yeah, again, definitely a positive message there. And going through these messages, too, reminded me of the fact that you guys had Mars in your sign for a really long time. It's moved on into Leo, which is your second house. So, if you guys have felt like you needed a boost to where things flow more naturally when it comes to your finances, and instead of you having to feel like you're just constantly working and treading water, that should help out with that as well. So, hopefully that resonated for you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.